Deflation equals abundance for all. Make deflation cool again. Brandon Gentile here. One of the beauties of Bitcoin is that you don't even need to hold it or understand it, but you will still get to benefit from it. Rent seekers and grifters that leech off the financialized economy, the financialized system we find ourselves in, will slowly melt away, i.e., Wall Street, pensions, 401ks, hedge funds, private equity, derivatives, credit default swaps, etc. Fees, and more fees. These will be gone. It will leak away as the power is sucked out of the cesspool that is Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street, anybody? Tea Party? These were all things that started 12 years ago during the Great Financial Crisis because of a system that most people were never taught about. Most people don't understand purposely. It's the rent seekers, the grifters, the grafters, the leechers sucking the lifeblood, sucking the life force, kind of like a pod that you might live in if you had the life force being sucked out of you, kind of like the Matrix, the movie, where humans were just used as a life force, an energy force. So proof of work is how Bitcoin runs. Proof of work. Have to do the work. I can't just take a pill and become a bodybuilder. I can't just take a pill and become an NBA All-Star. I can't just take a pill and become an NHL Hall of Famer. I can't just take a pill and have billions of dollars. You don't get to cheat this system. This isn't proof of stake. This isn't a fiat world that we live in. Proof of work is what's needed. This is why Bitcoin works, because you must expend the energy. You must put in the time. You must put in the work to get something of value. You must put in the time in your relationship. You must put in the communication, the effort, the energy in order to reap the rewards. Your kids, the same thing. You're raising children. They can be your greatest liability if you don't spend time with them, if you don't teach them, if you don't love them, if you don't give them attention, if you don't discipline them, if you don't course correct. Or they can be your greatest asset if you do those things. They can be working in your business by the time they're 8, 10, 12 years old. They can be huge benefits to society, not just your business. And they can be your greatest assets. They'll be the people that take care of you when in your old age. These are all things that require work. They require energy. We live in a system right now of inflationary, artificial gobbledygook, claptraps, and boondoggles. People doing nothing. I just saw an article about the energy department giving out $2.5 billion to GM to fund battery plants. Since when does the energy department do things that provide value that they all of a sudden have $2.5 billion? I was unaware of that. That's because they sucked the life force. You go to work every day. I go to work every day. I put in energy, work, study, hours, dozens of hours every week, hundreds of hours over the course of a month, thousands of hours a year, studying, trying to better myself, trying to make myself sharper, trying to work out, trying to watch what I eat, make sure my body's in good shape, my mind is in great shape. That way I can then pass on what I know to the people around me and try to hopefully leave places better than I found it. That is just insulting to my intelligence. That should be insulting to your intelligence, that we are leached off of. People are stealing, inflating our currency, printing it, putting digits into the computer, taking our economic time and energy, which we're going to talk more about in our upcoming posts and our upcoming videos here this week, about what is money really. It's just time. Money is nothing. It's just a tool. It's a container for our economic energy and time we have spent. And the elites, the Klaus Schwabs, the governments of the world, the Trudeaus, the Bidens, the energy departments, the Department of Educations, whatever they are, steal that away from you and I. They steal our time and they take it and then go give it out to other people they deem is necessary. They deem is worthwhile. They deem is more appropriate to have that time, energy, and is more valuable than yours. So that is what we're dealing with. The Bitcoin ledger will create a check and balance against corruption. This is incredibly important for the reasons we just talked about. Keeping people in check against politicians trading stock at their benefit and at your loss. Against politicians promising that they will raise money or taxes from one group, but turn around and really line their own pockets and pay off their friends. Again, energy department, anybody? How do they just get $2.5 billion? And again, save it in the comments of just like, well, they got it allocated because of the budget. They haven't done anything. How do they have anything? And that's the whole point of this. To get something in life, you must do something. Simple. That's it. Generalized principles. Bucky Fuller's generalized principles of life. Nature's law. Principles that stand the test of time no matter what is going on. Again, this ledger will be a record of who stood for what and will incentivize good actors in the public square while slowly disincentivizing bad actors who will fade away. As more people learn about Bitcoin and the monetary system that it is and the properties it contains, Bitcoin forces you to do it, by the way. It will slowly demonetize Wall Street. It'll demonetize crooks. It'll demonetize politicians. It'll demonetize corrupt governments. It'll demonetize huge alphabet soup authority administrations and global entities. WEF, the WHO, IMF, the World Bank, BIS, etc. Investors will realize they are paying fees, like we mentioned earlier, to people just to have fees sucked away from them in a self-defeating inflationary doom vortex. Capital will drain out of Wall Street, bankrupting the worthless money managers and rent-seeking shills. There won't be a need for financial planners and hedge funds and garbage repackaged ETFs and mutual funds and financial weapons of mass destruction. And we all know how much I love Warren Buffett. I agree with him on half of what he says, and I think he's completely off base on half of what he says. But he's right. Financial weapons of mass destruction. That's the financialized economy we live in. Derivatives, all the craziness we see, etc. That is what we're living through. This is why people are frustrated. This is why they don't know what's going on, because it's been taken from them. Things are being taken from them, and they don't know. They feel it, but they can't see it with their eyes because it's invisible. You have to look around the curtain. You have to see what the wizard is doing. There won't be a need for pension funds and 401ks. Those aren't going to be there. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, those aren't going to be there in 5-10 years. We are in a real shift this next 10 years to central bank digital currencies, which are the most evil things ever to exist. The spy coins, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all these things going bankrupt, which they'll get paid out, but you'll just inflate the currency again and make living standards cost even more for the average person to live. So you'll get paid out what you're owed, but it'll just be at the cost of, bread is 10 times as much as it is now. But you still get your $100,000. All the grifters will slowly melt away and fees will be returned to the people's portfolios. Stephen Brill has a book called Tailspin, which talks about this financialized economy and how the boomer generation was used as guinea pigs and as puppets to carry out this system of financial destruction. It was started in the 60s and 70s and really got going in the 80s once they got into power. As Reagan was president, the financialized creature and Wall Street really ramped up its game and started making derivatives upon derivatives, and that stand to be in the quadrillions, possibly layers and layers of financial assets were just exported out all across the world, put in a portfolio, stuffed in, and just people making fees off of fees and not providing anything. Literally not providing anything to anybody. Again, remember at the beginning, proof of work. We have to put in the work. I can't just go to the beach and say, yep, I drove to the beach, or I drove to the gym. Now I look great. No, you got to go in and put the hour in every day. You got to go put the 35 minutes, the 45 minutes in every single day, eat right for 6 days a week, 7 days a week, and then go do it again the next week. That's how life works. We got to go put the energy into our relationships, etc. That's how you get things. And we're in this victim culture, this entitlement culture, which we're all human, and I'm not immune to it, but I'm trying to root that poor person out of me every day. I'm trying to root that undisciplined person out of me every day. That weak person, that selfish person that wants to get up, that wants to just slack off and not do anything every single day. I have to defeat that person every single day. This has already been the case over the last 13 years because those who hold Bitcoin stand to benefit the most and will be able to suck up more and more assets. So again, this is, like I said, this is common for anyone who's held Bitcoin the last 13 years. Life has been getting cheaper and cheaper for them every single year. Life has got very cheap for them. So on Bitcoin is a great video below that is about 14 minutes. Will show you what happens to assets and to humans as we evolve in the next couple hundred years. This is an amazing, amazing video. You have to watch this video. Assets that we think of traditionally will no longer be priced as stores of value, but will reflect their true utility, like real estate. They'll be traded much differently. Each asset currently contains some type of utility value along with monetary value or store of value. Instead, your money should just do what it's supposed to do and be the ultimate store of value and not leak value like fiat currencies. Why do we go to work every day and spend our time and energy away from our families just to come home and have our currencies leak the very energy out of the cup or fill up our cup every single day? We have this cup, we fill it up with our economic time and energy and our output, and then we go home at night and it just leaks out the bottom. There's a little hole at the bottom. That's inflation. That's monetary expansion. That's the expansion of the currency supply. Now we're seeing it in real time. Inflation, eggs cost 4 times as much. A gallon of milk costs 4 times as much. That's not that thing getting 4 times more valuable. That's your purchasing power being lost by Forex. That means you are losing purchasing power. They are printing that much currency that you are losing that value. So now we have to get on the hamster wheel the next day and run even harder just to keep the same level, the same lifestyle. And again, this lets every asset return to its intrinsic value as determined by the free market. Like we have said, naturally, this reduces prices in all assets as Bitcoin demonetizes all these asset classes and makes them much more affordable, creating more wealth and opportunity for all. Each Satoshi, the divisible unit of Bitcoin, will be able to buy you infinitely more and more assets, as we have already seen over the last 13 years. Anyone holding fiat or CBDCs will also, which will probably be all of us, quite honestly, if we don't just completely turn ourselves around, which, yeah, it'll buy you more stuff as well if you have fiat and CBDCs, because you will be able to use that to go transfer in the peer-to-peer economy and get Bitcoin. But your lifestyle, as Bitcoin sucks more out of the legacy system, even if you hold just CBDCs or fiat, your life actually will become cheaper as well. Once people realize what central banking digital currencies are, people will break away from it and it will make Bitcoin only grow more. Who would want to be trapped in an ever-diluting spy coin or fiat currency, a dollar, where someone can control your wealth and all of your decisions? Again, not to rehash CBDCs, but again, it's a coin that can be pre-programmed. Just your money in general, your currency can be pre-programmed to be spent wherever the government wants it spent or not spent. Think about that. Central bank digital currencies can be programmed or pre-programmed or post-programmed to do whatever they want you to do. You want to leave the state? Well, too bad, your money doesn't work in their state. Well, you want to leave the city? Doesn't work anywhere else. That is what we're going into with central bank digital currencies. You can only buy, you bought too many Amazon products this month. Sorry, your money's shut off. You lost some money on your you lost some points on your social credit score. You voted for the wrong person, lost points on your social credit score. Now everything is more expensive. Now your inflation rate went up because you voted for the wrong person. You supported the wrong person. You supported the Canadian truckers. Bitcoin will be the only money, but probably not the only currency. Again, money is a store of value. Currency is a medium of exchange. There's the difference there. Currency and money have the same properties, but money is the only thing that is a store of value. That's why Bitcoin is different. That's why gold and silver were for thousands of years the only money, because they were a store of value. They held their value over time and very, very minimal inflation rate as people mined more. Currencies, though, fiat currencies, will lose their value constantly, all day, every day. That's why we've lost 99% of our purchasing power over the last 100 years. Assets, goods, and services will be much cheaper for every human. Abundance will blanket the earth, and wars will not be popular or easy to run. And they will exist still. However, they won't last as long, and they won't be popular. There will be less because the currency printer is gone. They're outside the blacked out government central banker basement windows. When you have a monetary system where people are not able to just print it all day long, it's very hard to have endless wars for 20 years. That means it has to be worth it at the end of the day, because it's proof of work. It has to be worth it. It has to have the work associated. Someone has to be working to actually provide that value, to send the oil, the energy, the resources, the food, the weapons to the military. Otherwise, people say, nope, I'm all set. That's a no for me, dog. 1971, cost of living. Check that out. Inflation destroying purchasing power right here in front of our eyes. Ask yourself, did these goods get that much more valuable or that much more tasty? The food, maybe besides the car, which is the only thing, this is where the government gets away with things. They say, well, a car is a lot more valuable now, so it should be worth more. But again, it's a sleight of hand. They're lying to you. But again, even take the car out. Look at everything else. A stamp, gasoline. Did the gas get that much better? Is the stamp 10 times better? Is it worth 80 cents or is it worth 8 cents? Well, damn near 80 cents now. Or are they the same? Are they more valuable or are they not? It just takes more dollars to buy the very same thing as it did in 1971. So 50 plus years ago, it just takes that many more dollars. A movie ticket is $10. Now it was $150. Is a movie that much different than it was back then? As less and less people need government to provide them through printing currency and taking from others, it will naturally reduce the size and scope of the government. So instead of a downward doom vortex, it will be an upward positive spiral. This will directly give more freedom and prosperity to each citizen. Heck, nation states may cease to exist eventually. Bucky Fuller, the friendly genius, even predicted that nation states may fade away decades ago. Just like Henry IV predicted there would be an energy money someday over 100 plus years ago that would de-incentivize or demonetize war, like we talked about. That will also incentivize the good actors, like we have spoken about, back into government again, which will be a positive reinforcing loop, giving us more of our freedoms. Abundance and God's calling for all of humanity will take shape, and the earth will regrow to its natural state, peace and harmony. Stay strong. And again, go to this video. Please watch this video. This video is incredible. It really expands your mind, challenges your assumptions as to where we're going and what we're doing. It doesn't have to be this way. Life can be different. I know it can. I pray about it every single day. I know it can. Please go watch this video. If you like this blog, the videos, please let me know. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Please share with someone you think might like it. If you don't like it, please comment on that as well. And please let us know your thoughts. I appreciate you, your time, your energy. It's the most important asset we have. Speaking of assets, we look forward to seeing you on the next one.